Hey guys, today on Know Your Produce we're making a delicious and filling cabbage soup recipe. It is perfect for fall. Let's get started. In our pot we're going to warm up a little bit of oil, and if you're oil free just use water. We're also going to be using some onions, carrots, and then after the carrots I'm going to add in some celery and then the garlic. I like to cook these before adding in all the broth because it lets them release those flavors. The garlic and onion really release a lot of flavors once you caramelize them a little bit and cook them down. So we're not going to cook it till it's brown, just to get the natural juices and all the sweetness from them. And you just want to stir it every so often. Cook it for about 4 to 6 minutes to really break them down. And they look good here, so now I'm going to start adding the remaining ingredients. So now I'm going to add some potatoes. I like to leave the skid on my potatoes because it gives it more nutrients. I'm also using red potatoes because they hold up really well in this soup. We're also going to be adding in zucchini. Zucchini is one of my favorites in a vegetable soup, so it had to be in this cabbage soup. I'm just going to mix it a little bit because I don't want anything to burn, so make sure that you're mixing if you still have the heat on. We're going to reserve the bay leaf for the liquids and then add in the seasonings. I have some thyme, oregano, and basil, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Just give that a little mix so you can get those seasonings a little heated, and then add in the bay leaf because now we're adding the bulk of the liquids. So now for those liquids, I am using diced tomatoes and I'm using the juice. I'm not straining them, so everything that is in that jar goes right into my soup. I'm also going to be using vegetable broth. You could use your own homemade vegetable broth or you can use a carton. Since I'm doing this recipe for my site, I like to use a carton so this way I can ensure that I can tell you guys it works perfectly with a store-bought broth. And then we're just going to give it a mix. I like to make sure everything's incorporated and everything is mingling, so this way when it cooks there's not lumps of, any of the seasonings on top that's not going to boil into the soup and release those oils. So now that everything is all mixed in, I'm adding in our cabbage. That is our last veggie. You could also add other veggies into the soup if you want, but if you are adding more, you're going to want to add more liquid so it can really cook down. Once I get all of this cabbage smushed down, I'm going to add in a little bit more liquid. You could do water or more vegetable broth. I like to add a little bit of water, and then I can also season it to taste. My family likes to add pasta to this or even dip it with bread, so I actually add 1 more cup of water so we have extra broth. And then you're just going to cover it and bring it to a boil. Now once it's boiling, I like to remove the lid and then give it a good mix so this way everything is not sticking to the bottom. And see how it's bubbling? This soup is really hot. It's going to continue cooking, and those vegetables are still fresh and crispy. We want them cooked down a bit more. So I'm just giving it a mix, and then I'm going to put the lid right back on and then cook it for another 25 to 30 minutes. And our soup is perfectly cooked in less than 30 minutes, and it's ready to serve. We hope you enjoy this recipe as much as we do. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.